Welcome, guys. We are live. I am going to post this link now in the Discord. Let's see. Yep, we are live. Good to go. Superman's the first. How you doing? All right, let's see. I need to move my head. Let's see. I'm going to move my head a little bit here if I can. I don't know if it'll let me. Let's see. I'll move my head up just a little bit here, just because the comments I noticed are on top of my head, oddly enough. Cat with hands. How you doing? Beast. How you doing, Beast? Good to see you. I'm publishing this now in the Discord. Hope you guys are doing well. And welcome. This is, if you don't know, this is our YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube if you're not already. And of course, I still have some videos. As a matter of fact, right after this live stream or first thing in the morning, I got the What is XETA video being recorded. Just the way I do it, just so to be transparent, I have to bulldoze through the videos all at once. I can't like break it up throughout the day or days. It messes me up. So got to set some time aside where I could just do it all in one take. That's how I do it. And that will be posted soon. Of course, you know our Twitter page by now. Go ahead and follow that if you have not done so. And thanks for coming on. We've got a little bit of an AMA. As you know from last time, you guys got something fun for being live on here. We are going to open up another pool. We're going to open up a 75 plus pool. So if you're trying to get your tokens ready, I'd suggest you get them ready if you want to use it. And we got something else. It's going to mess with you a little bit, but in a good way. I promise, in a good way. And that'll be coming as well. I want to take the time to welcome I understand we have some people from the Babes community. They joined the Discord yesterday. And I do understand that there is I'm not, involved with a lot of NFT projects other than Uncharted, actually. But I do understand it's kind of a heartbreaking situation that happened over at Babes. I don't know a ton. I'm not going to be an expert, but I do understand there was some folks running away with money and things like that. So if you are on this live stream, I just want to welcome. And if not, you watch it later. That's okay. Welcome to our community. We're a little bit of a smaller community, tight-knit community, just trying to win. And welcome to our family. And I'm very sorry about what has been going on over there. It's, I get on a little diatribe. It's sort of the reason why I think, and I might get shot for saying this, but I think that 100% decentralization and permissionless doesn't actually work. You need some centralization because we have something called the human element, and the human element introduces greed, a lot of greed oftentimes. For what I understand, if some founders had just waited, that the company could have 10x something of that degree. Which is, as a founder, you're supposed to be running it as a real business, but sounds like they got a little greedy from what I understand. And again, that's why you need some centralization. You need decentralization and centralization. You have to have both. But I'm very, very sorry with what's happened over there. And if you're here, welcome, and thanks for tuning in. Let's see. What's Babes? Babes is an NFT project that just had a really bad situation happen over there. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you being here. Valentine Mosman. I might be saying that wrong. Apologize. What's good? Chandler, how you doing? Brett. Actively investing passively. That's one of the coolest names. You want to know something funny? All this fun. I was once told that your account was one of my alt accounts. I don't know who started that. That was a weird thing. I don't even know if you know about that. Somehow that I am you. So I'm saying hi to myself, I guess. So welcome and thank you for being here. So let's do this. I'm going to do a couple of things. So I'm going to hop right into some questions. If you guys want to post something here, I'll answer them here first. But I'm going to hop into some questions, go into the Discord for some questions, show you something fun. We're going to open the pool in just a little bit. So be ready for the pool if you want to get into that as well. And Nail, how you doing? Hope you're doing very well. Thanks for joining, guys. And there's a lot of questions about the IPO. That's kind of partly why we're here. It's kind of, an event where we can get together and kind of celebrate. It's an unusual thing, actually, to IPO, especially in the DeFi space, right? And part of why we're doing that is going to be part of my responses to some of the questions, because I know there's some questions. Why IPO? What's the reason? Doesn't that, introduce some potential issues with a new audience? And I'm going to get to all that. I think there will be things that, as I explain them, will make sense. Hopefully make sense. Yeah, the pool. How you doing, Marcus? I'm going to respond to you and get back to you. I'm going to get on. Marcus is part of a podcast called Crypto Bros. If you guys have not checked it out, please do so. They did a wonderful episode on XETA back in, I want to say it was October. Correct me if I'm wrong, Marcus. October, November. And XRP Grandpa from our community was on there. You would think that guy was part of the team with the way he described the project. I've never seen somebody who actually knew just as much about the project as the founders did. I mean, his knowledge was very, very impressive. I listened to that podcast the morning before my son was born in the hospital. I was just listening to it because, didn't have a lot going on. But thanks for being here. I appreciate it. Appreciate the D. Thank you, Bartow Baptist Association. Cool name. D. Franklin. All right. Okay, guys. Well, if you don't have any questions, how about I ask you a question? There's a little reversal. Thoughts on OTC only? Opinions, feedback, constructive. Let's keep it constructive and not destructive. Opinions, just kind of like your overall thoughts. Do you like it? Do you like the appreciation each day, for now, each week going forward? Kind of overall thoughts, because I know that's giving people value. It's kind of interesting because even as you wait in OTC, you're actually being paid the wait. Oddly as that may sound, if you haven't thought about it that way, if it takes a couple of days, the price has gone up in a couple of days. So actually, by the time it gets to you, you're actually making more. So it's kind of interesting. And if you use a utility, guess what? More value in utility. So it's different, right? And I think anything in crypto and DeFi that's that different is sometimes a hard pill to swallow. But we actually have a great community, I think. A little frustrating waiting for the transaction to go through. Understood. Rajan. MECP has, and I know you're from the Discord, buddy, said something that I want to reiterate, that he is getting enough airdrops, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, from the lakes, and I think from Uncharted as well, that you don't even have to sell tokens to pay your fees. I just think that's cool. That's a real closed ecosystem just for yourself. Not been done. I don't know of another project where you could literally have the potential of making a profit without ever selling a token. That's really, really, really wild. OTC should be kept at all possible. Okay. Jonathan has some concerns about how fast it'll go when we get to $70+ Understood. I'll tackle that in one of the questions. Seems like the wait's getting a little longer. Okay. Like it better. Thumbs up. Actively invest in passive. It's like 4 days, give or take, 3-4 days. Something like that. Okay. I'm going to run through some math of that, guys, and show you. I just want to show you something. Just when you see the numbers, it might give it a little bit of a different perspective behind it. Hey, D Prince D. Sorry, apologies. Okay, understood. Appreciation equals good. Yeah. Again, I don't want to come off telling you guys what to do. I can't give you advice. Ultimately, you make up your own mind, but just something to consider that. Uncharted is on sale right now. The lakes have been available, right? Might have something on that during this call. Wait and see. And a pool, maybe. But the thing is, it's like if you participate with this stuff enough, that you do have this potential to get an airdrop that could cover your fees, right? It really does kind of put the spotlight, I'll say, on the utility more, which is really what we're here for. We're not just here for a token sale. And I say just because that is an option, but I think lining up a seller with a buyer is just super, super efficient, right? And it really allows from a financial perspective for the team to actually plan out, how do we do buybacks? Let's do this in an organized fashion, as opposed to just like, a DEX where you're just super reactive and there's bots and just all this like chaos. I almost describe it as chaos. It's like a garden that's just gotten way out of control. I look at the OTC almost as if like it's a very pruned garden, no weeds. You're getting the proper water that's measured through sprinklers and bubblers. You're getting just the right amount of daylight, and it's controlled and all this kind of stuff inside of a greenhouse. Kind of how I look at OTC. It's very controlled. Anyway, let's get into, let's see if you guys have any questions here. Yes, Marcus, it's 20% monthly. I should say up to. I always use that word up to. Jorge, we had the airdrop already for lake number 1. That was, I'm already going to forget the day, so I'm not going to even quote the day. The days are going by like weeks. So I apologize. Okay, let's get into some questions in the Discord. There's some really, really, really good questions I want to get to. And I'll do the pool in just a couple minutes. I promise. Okay. And then I'm going to show you something, and we're going to get back to the questions. We're going to kind of like bounce back and forth. This will be a lot of fun. I'll try to keep it short. I always say that, we're already 10 minutes in. We haven't even started the questions. So there you go. Can I give you an idea of how that looks? Let's see. How do you guys like Vince McMahon? You like his new look? And we have some funny characters in the Discord. Anyway, no issues with the SEC. They're going hard on crypto, but they're allowing companies to IPO, right? It's not a problem. It won't be a problem. No concern there. The Lake 1 airdrop already took place, guys. Go and check out I forget which announcement channel was under. Let's see here. It would be under, let's check. I think it was under community right here, community updates. It'll be the last one you see under community updates. So right here at this time, at this date. So go and check that out, please. It already took place, and it will be monthly moving forward after that point. And also, it should be on the Twitter page. I believe it's right on the Twitter page. Big shout out to JT. He's doing a wonderful job with the Twitter page. And a big shout out to our mods, as always, do a wonderful job. I could not do what I do without the mods. I just want to be very clear. I could not do what I do without the mods. I would be all day in the Discord, which is not a bad thing, but I would not be able to get a lot of stuff done. So big shout out to the mods and JT as well. Anyway, so Arjan, I don't understand your question. Could you clarify what formula? It's 14 cents per day. I don't know if there's a more specific question you have in that. So Matt Cruz asking, is there some way we can set up a process to move zones to another wallet? Very, very, very unlikely. And let me tell you why. Because if your wallet gets hacked, now the hacker can do that. Right. So that right there gives a reason why that's likely not going to happen. Plus, that's a really, really massive technical lift to move wallets. I go back to the analogy I used in last live stream when I was referring to accelerators and why we're not doing them. The way the system is built to move stuff is a lift. It's a technical lift. You can ask anybody that's been in one of the tech support tickets. Moving them is unfortunately at the bottom of the list when wallets are hacked, because it's a user error. And I know guys like projects will not touch hacked wallets. They won't do anything to do with it. Sometimes every now and then they might, but they don't regularly help people. We really try to regularly help people, but we have to prove that you own that wallet, right? We don't want to just make some process because God forbid you get hacked and then the hacker takes your zones and everything and your lakes and your HFT and all that. So it's a little bit of a degree of security there. Master Yoda, when it comes to taxes and questions about the debit card, I'm going to ask to hold off and wait for that just because it's not out yet. But I'm sure there's going to be monthly statements. Why wouldn't there be? Yeah, there should absolutely be. Yeah, Prince D, I don't know. Sorry, I don't have an Amazon Fire Stick. I apologize. Are we considering paying out in another store of value? You mean from the lakes and pools, I presume? Not at the moment, but we could. There's nothing stopping us from doing that, but we could. I like stablecoin because you know what it's going to be. If I send you Bitcoin, how do you know what's going to be by the time it shows up? It might actually be more, but in many cases, it might be less. If you think about it, by the time you close positions, hedge out, if the market is volatile in that time, it takes you longer to get out. This is why it's up to 28 days. And if we were to then swap it into Bitcoin, it then has to be reviewed before it gets sent out. I always bring up the fact that we don't charge you guys for that swap. There's actually a fee going back into crypto we don't charge you for. But nonetheless, by the time you receive the Bitcoin or AVAX or whatever, how do you know what it's going to be? You'd be like, hey, I was supposed to get $1,000 and I only got $50. I mean, that's crypto for you. So I would kind of like to avoid personally anything else other than stablecoin if possible. I would like to move back to USDC. Let's just see what happens, Arjan, right now, because there's just too much uncertainty right now. And the weird thing is you would have thought USDT would have had the problem, but obviously the people who run these markets have a different agenda. So, but we can move on a dime, as you can see. So I want to tackle GrowthX's question here. Go ahead and share this if you guys haven't, please. And then I'll open the pool right after this question was answered. So, any thoughts or plans about how to help OTC since demand doesn't seem to keep up with supply? Now, don't take this the wrong way, but I disagree. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Let's go and look at because I want to show you the numbers. Let me go look at this smart contract for OTC. So as you can see, there's 3,832 tokens. Let's just call it 3,800 for easy math, right? 3,800 tokens listed. Now, I can tell you at this moment, the team has, give me one moment, I apologize, I'll tell you. We have about 750 listed. So what's the math behind that? Let's round it up to 20%. So we have about 20% of what's listed. Okay. Now, a lot of people would look at that and be like, well, that's a high number. I agree, but see, I look at it a little differently. It's a high number because there's not a lot of people selling, right? So let me show you something else to kind of make my point. If you look at the OTC volume, since we've gone OTC only, and I ran this just before we got on, we are at about 1.4 million, give or take, in less than a month. Okay. Now, it equals about whatever the math was at the time when I ran it. 2.4 million. I said 1.4. 2.4 million equals out about $61,000 a day. That's significant volume. And there's been plenty of times where somebody comes in here and cleans out the OTC. I have to run back to my computer and list like 1,000 tokens because nobody's listing anything, right? Our utility eats up so many tokens that selling doesn't have like a tremendous amount of selling volume on the OTC. So I look at this from the perspective of, this is less than 400 zones right now. And it would be almost less than 300 if the team pulled all the tokens out. So we almost have to list because there's just literally not enough volume on the selling side. Okay. We know if there's 2.4 million a month that there is activity on the buying side. But what has happened several times now is you'll get a couple of, I say guys, could be gals, I don't know, guys or gals coming in with two wallets, buying like 300, 400 zones and wiping the whole thing out. They stop buying because they literally can't buy anymore, right? So I look at this from the perspective of, if we have a marketing campaign running and we're getting 100 new wallets a day coming in and they're all buying 10 zones, this is going to get cleared out in no time. That's on top of the already existing volume, right? So we have to list. It just is what it is. So when I look at this volume, everything that I do or we do as a team with OTC is extremely intentional. When we list, when we don't, when we buy back, when we don't. Right now it's around 4 days. I would argue, personally speaking, that having tokens in here that's barely 300 or 400 zones worth is not that much. Like, guys, we only have, I think the number is 700 total wallets. That's like in crypto a nothing burger. I'm just being honest in terms of like explosive growth. So when we do start a lot of this marketing, like there's going to have to be more tokens in here. It just is what it is because you will not be able to keep up with the demand, and that demand can come at any moment, right? And it already has happened several times where I'm running around like a crazy person trying to list tokens. And then I list what looks like a lot. And then 10 minutes later, I get another notification on my phone. They're all sold out. I got to come back and do it again. So it's a balancing act, but I would not say that there isn't demand. Okay. I just think that I look at this from the perspective of, I know that there's demand, but this is not quite enough tokens, to be honest. 3, 4, 5, 6,000 is not even that much. That's less than 1,000 zones that could be bought, right? And you look at our ecosystem, we have a very steady growth rate. And then all of a sudden we get these big spikes of people coming in, and then there's literally not enough tokens. So anyway, bear with us. It's a balancing act, but that's kind of my long answer to your short question. Jay Good, no, it's not. Hey, Cosmic. Good morning. I don't know where you're from, but good morning to you too. Downrange, that's the plan. That's the plan. Okay, let's move on. I think I beat that horse dead. Gravy Train, I'm going to combine your question with actively investing passively, my alt account, right? I'm going to combine because it's kind of the same question as his first one. I say he, could be she, I don't know. The first question that this person asks is, what are the primary benefits that XETA has by going public that couldn't be obtained by remaining private? Then the second question is, if you're going to go public, you're going to get a whole new audience of people. Their wishes may not align with zone holders' interests, and therefore you might have this kind of back and forth of wanting to be more profitable, but being more profitable might mean zone holders are getting screwed over. So let me kind of tackle the first question. Then I'll open the pool. I know I forgot. I'll open the pool next. So in Gravy Train's kind of the same question, his first one here. So the primary benefit, let's talk about a couple of them, actually, to be honest. The most obvious one is legitimacy, right? We are obviously legitimate, but you have to understand that in the world of crypto, DeFi specifically, everybody's looking for what's wrong. What is wrong with this project? You offer too much money. Check this out. So people think that you're not real when you offer too high of a return. I understand why. I mean, you remember the days of the Dow where they had like 5 trillion%. Like, I understand the reason why, but you almost shoot yourself in the foot by making people too much money, if that makes any sense. It's just kind of a crazy thing. So the mindset in DeFi is very, very different. Nobody is screwing anybody over if they're going public. You can't. Legally, you can't. The Security Exchange Commission go through your books and your business with a fine-tooth comb. You have to have clean books. You have to be making money. You have to be profitable. You have to have assets under management. You have to be doing what you say you're going to do. So there's a degree of legitimacy. And let's remember, DeFi is a small sliver of crypto. I think it's the passive income space is even smaller. It's a tiny, tiny sliver. And any of you who have been in the XRP community know what I'm going to say here, that until really big money comes in, you're not going to see this massive, explosive price appreciation until you see the really big financial institutions, all this kind of stuff. They won't touch it, right? So there's a reason why when you look at XETA Blue, which is the token model, it is very gamified. It's gamified towards like a DeFi sort of audience, which is the reason why XETA Black was sort of born. XETA Black came out of, hey, there's people that don't get what is a zone and compounding and tiers and rolling over with lakes and OTC and blocks and, buying blocks inside of pools, and when do pools open, when they don't. I'm not saying the system's bad. It's just for people who are not part of crypto and DeFi, they don't get that. That's hard to wrap their mind around. I'll be honest, it's actually hard to explain to somebody who's not in crypto. So XETA Black was born from the fact that, hey, there are people in traditional finance. They do have money. They're looking for a place to put it. We have a utility that makes sense. And most people in traditional finance, especially in institutional finance level, they know high frequency trading is. It's like they hear that word every day. So when they see something that has that utility on traditional finance using cryptocurrency, they're like, oh, awesome, right? You look at the DeFi space, you get these guys in traditional finance, which again, doesn't mean crypto doesn't have a lot of money, but traditional finance has a lot of money and you want to target that audience. They look at DeFi and it's like, I'm not putting my money anywhere near DeFi. I mean, go and read the Guardian newspaper if you don't know what I'm talking about, okay? They see this stuff that I don't want to touch it. They got $100 million. They're not putting it anywhere near DeFi, right? If you are going public, you actually can't screw anybody over. You can't do it. It provides a degree of legitimacy, not just to the crypto space, but to the traditional finance space, because these guys are used to dealing with companies that go public. Okay. That's just a common thing you do in traditional finance when you are running a really, really big company and you want to as Kevin O'Leary says, have plans for global domination, right? So there's that side of it. There's also the fundraising side of it. But I hope that answers the first question. And the second question about benefiting a different kind of audience where their interests may not be aligned. So these would be people who, for example, they own equity. They don't own zones, but they own equity. So, isn't their interest going to not align with zone holders' interests? Maybe. And I will say that anytime you bring in a new audience, there can be this kind of butt-in a little bit, but I want you to kind of look at it this way. It's kind of funny. The question is kind of set up to where, hey, aren't you going to have to be more profitable, which means the zone holders are less profitable? No, actually, no, because if we were not profitable up to this point, we couldn't function as a company, right? So look at it this way. Myself, Gavin, all of the, founders, we own equity already in XETA, obviously, right? We're equity holders, we're founders. So you look at it from that perspective. If we were not being taken care of, if the company wasn't healthy, we couldn't do what we do for you guys, right? So look at it from the perspective as there already is equity holders in the company. It's just that when we go public, they'll be divvied up and dispersed out to anybody who is interested in purchasing those securities. But the point I'm trying to make is we are always going to be profitable as a company, and also serve the people who are in XETA Black, XETA Blue, XETA Gold, XETA Platinum, whatever, right? All of those different array of products, because all those products have a different audience. Just like I mentioned with the traditional finance world, that's what those products are delivered around. They're built around DeFi people in XETA Blue, traditional finance people in XETA Black. It'll be a little bit of mixture of both in gold. You'll see as this kind of plays out, but there's always going to be a different sort of audience that you want to serve. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the company has to be profitable. You have three basic entities in business that you have to take care of. You have to take care of the founders, the team, right? You have to take care of the business, because the business is an entity. It kind of goes more into your question. And of course, you have to take care of those who are the recipient of your product, goods, or service, which would be zone holders. So it's just kind of like a traditional basic business practice anyway. So I hope that helps. Pool time. Who wants a pool? You want a 25%, 75 plus zone pool? Write yes in the comments if you want it. I'm gonna make you say something for it. You can if you want. Gavin, you're funny. If you want to wear orange. Hey, I used to know a guy that would wear orange. He was a short-term, didn't work out very long, but short-term youth pastor. And this guy actually had an orange suit, like not a jumpsuit, like a suit, like a tuxedo-like suit. Orange. Never seen anything like it. It kept you awake. There's no doubt about it. Okay. Let's get a 25% pool open for you guys. And that is now open. Let's check our D-app. There you go. Dive in. It's one of the benefits you guys get for being on the live stream. I will announce that after the live stream is over. So hop in, dive in. I'm trying to be too cute with the pool stuff. I know. I'm well aware of it. I'll come back to the chat here and see what we're talking. His name was not Michael Jackson. No. That guy. You'll have to wait and see. Josh, I don't know. Maybe I don't know anything about that. Maybe we're hungry for more pools, man. Well, hey, look, right now you got a 20%er open, 10%, and a 25%. So go for it. So I say. That's right. Indeed. Sorry, P3P. Go ahead and open up a ticket if you haven't already, please. Just so if there's any affected wallets. We had a renewal thing happen earlier. So apologize about that. Go ahead and open up a ticket if you haven't already. We'll get right to that. Roll over to higher tiers. Are you talking about in the pools and the lakes, or help me out with that if you wouldn't mind, Josh? Just want to make sure I understand the question. Just going through let's see, the chat here to see if you guys have any questions. Yeah, Roberto, you hit the nail on the head. So this is the argument of Keynesian and Austrian economics. And I'll say this without getting too deep into this. With a lot of positions, you can't take one side to the extreme too far. Like, for example, there has to be some participation by a higher, government, central bank, whatever, but not so much that it impacts. Like my opinion, this is just my opinion. It's not a Zeta Capital opinion. This is my personal opinion. I think some of the banks should have been allowed to fail, right? We keep bailing out in the United States. I know we have international viewers. We keep bailing out these banks and entities, and they know it. So they use their power to the degree to screw the people over, right? So I am all for, and I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people have been driven into crypto is because they see, what inflation can do. They see what government intervention can do to the degree and to the extreme side. And they are like, hey, I want something that has a fixed value. I don't want the government getting involved in my business. I want to be left alone. And I can understand that perspective. I just think that there has to be a little bit of both. That's just my personal opinion. I kind of look at that almost sort of like centralization versus decentralization in crypto. I don't know if this connection has ever been made, Keynesian and Austrian centralization, decentralization. It's kind of the same argument. I just think there has to be a little bit of both. And the main reason I'll tell you, and this kind of goes back to the whole Babes thing again, just to kind of beat that horse a little bit more dead, is that you can give people the decision that, hey, either A, you can benefit yourselves right now, but screw over a whole lot of other people, or B, I give you a decision that might be a little inconvenient, but that benefits everybody. And the vast majority of people will always take the first option and screw other people over and take a decision that benefits themselves. Not everybody. I actually think in Zeta, we have a very different kind of community. It's called the prisoner's dilemma. Go and do a quick Google search on it. I think the community in Zeta is very much different than the prisoner's dilemma, more so than I've seen in other communities. I see folks that just want what's best for the company, the fund, the business, because they know it benefits them, right? So it's a very different sort of approach. But I look at decentralization that way. The prisoner's dilemma really makes full-blown permissionless decentralization almost impossible, if I'm being completely honest. Hey, Spencer. Good to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, where's those 30% pools? We need to be able to post like GIFs in this chat. I wish they gave you that ability, that Dave Chappelle GIF. Crypto Cowboys in the house. The live stream has officially started. Prince D, no plans right now that I'm aware of. Yeah, Ohio in the house. Ohio in the house. Cool. All right, let's do this. I want to unveil something, and then we'll go back to the questions. So you got a little bit of banter, you got some questions answered, you got the pool, a little more banter. Let me unveil something, and then we'll go back to the questions. So I want you guys to go to your web browser, and I want you to type in the following web address. I want you to type in here. I'll type it in the chat right now too. I want you to type in kb.zetacapital.com. kb.zetacapital.com, and you will be presented with this. This is our official knowledge base that we've been working on. I kind of been talking about this for a while. Here's what's happened. It's kind of interesting. We improve literally week by week, month by month. We're doing something different and new. And it ends up being like, oh, we have to go back and edit the knowledge base. Now, this has been going on for like since January. I kid you not. So I figured it's just time to put this out there. We'll make updates as we go along and just finally show you guys what this is and how it works. So let's do that. So Zeta Capital knowledge base, as you all know, popular articles up here on the top. And then you have some categories. You have general information about Zeta Capital, the business, kind of overall overreaching kind of category. You have a whole category just based on the DApp, the dashboard. You have a whole category just on the Zeta token. There's going to be questions about the Zeta token. Zones, questions just on the zones. How do the zones work? When do they expire? How do I see certain things? The utility, just overarching questions. When is private equity coming out? When is, how often are pools released? What is a pool? What is a lake? Speaking of which, you got a whole category just on pools, a whole category just on lakes, a whole category just on OTC. Charity, only got one question in there. And then, of course, Discord and Zeta Black coming soon. So what this is, let me just kind of clarify. We get a lot of questions in Discord, right? We get a lot of questions on Twitter. That's not a bad thing. That's perfectly okay. However, I started thinking, we have in crypto, I've noticed, I'm sure you guys have too, a very siloed it's like a siloed sort of system where everything happens on Discord. If you're not on Discord, you miss everything. You can't even ask your questions, right? So I wanted to look at this from a very pragmatic business standpoint, because I'm a very pragmatic kind of person. That's how I operate. And say, listen, there's people who don't even know what a blockchain is, let alone Discord. How do I do this? How do I verify? There's people who come into Discord, they don't know what anything is. And I remember when I first used Discord, I'm right there with them. I totally get it. It's a mess. It's a jungle of a mess, right? So it's take these things off of Discord and start putting them more on the web where people can find them like a real business. This is kind of a funny side note. I don't know if I've ever shared this, but before Zeta started, I was arguing not to even have a Discord. I'm being honest. I was like, we should not have a Discord because there was a lot of FUD in crypto at the time, but it was mostly because it is such a beast to manage. I'm happy we have it, by the way, but at first I just, the contrarian in me is like, no, do something different, but I'm happy we have it. However, a lot of Discords have like an FAQ section. It's all on Discord. And if you're not on there, if you don't know how to use it, you miss out. So the idea is take all of these questions that people generally go into the Discord for and put it on the website where people can find it. And it's a static link that you can send to your friends as well. Makes it a heck of a lot easier than, trying to browse around Discord and this isn't working. I can't verify. Where's this? Where's that? Discord has a lot of limitations in terms of a layout, things like that. So kind of I'll just share kind of a short to midterm vision for this is to have like a proper support page on the website where you can get to the knowledge base and then you can open up a ticket and kind of remove the Discord tickets at some point and make it more, hey, if you're not in Discord, you can still open a support ticket. Like people still have questions and they don't know what Discord even is. So you could do stuff just to kind of run through this real quick. I'll make a whole video on it, but you can search up here. How does OTC work? If I trade OTC, some other things will come up in here that maybe are not that related. We'll prune that out over time. If you click this, obviously you'll be brought to this article. This is a really short article. There's tags down here. You can click these tags. So if I click trade, we'll see what's listed under trade. You'll see it brings up the search bar again. Let's say I just click some category. I don't know. Let's do zones. How about zones? Click this. These are the different questions in here. This will be built out more over time, especially as we see certain questions being asked a lot. What is a zone? Now you notice if you just hover your mouse over this, it actually has like a little short description. If you click it, it brings up the article really quickly without going to a whole new page, which is really cool. And this will answer the question. Now, if you want to read this in its entirety, you click expand right here. Then it brings up the article like so. And there's a table of contents on the right here. Now, we don't have any more than just one content. So I'll go find something that actually you can see that on. But in here, you can read this whole thing. There's more tags you can click. You can switch to different categories while you're in an article, just right up here. So if I want to go to all of a sudden lakes, I can click lakes. How often do lakes open? Lakes open monthly. Some of these will actually have links back to YouTube videos and things like that. And of course, there's some typos like USDC. We got to fix that. But this is a perfect one. Let me open this up. This is a nice long article. Now you can see this table of contents on the right over here. So we're in the first content. If I click the second one, it just scrolls down to it. If I click the last one, it scrolls down. If I click the first one, it goes right back up again. Okay, so this is just a really, really nice centralized, we're using that word again, repository for the most common question that's on the internet that you can actually send to somebody. So my overall goal of this, I'll also say, is as we have Zeta Blue, Zeta Black, Zeta Gold, Zeta Platinum, whatever, you would see those on here. And clicking those would then bring you to, like, this would be the Zeta Blue version. And then it'd be a whole Zeta Black version. This is like going to be almost any question you can think of. I'm sure someone will think of something that's not in there, but almost any question you can think of would be on here. So kb.zetacapital.com. Please go and check that out. That will be posted in the Discord sometime after this live stream is done. Hey, Jason. You did not know there was something called Zeta Black. That's because we haven't discussed it publicly yet. The Prime Group already knows about it. Some people have already used it. What it is, I'll just really quickly, elevator pitch. The 80-20 of Zeta is the utility. We all know this. There's pools and there's lakes built around the single utility, which is high frequency trading. But there's a token, right? Some people don't like tokens. It's too complicated. I got to have 10 zones and then 20 zones and then 50 and 75 and they expire in a year. And it's pools are not always open. Zeta Black solves that by not having a token. It's all in USD coin, a stable coin. You can make accounts which act similarly to zones, but pools are available all the time, 24 hours. You want to open up a pool for 50 grand, you have 50 grand worth of USD coin, you put in the pool, it starts right then and there, just like that. There's no gamification, there's no confusion, there's no complexity. It's simple and very, very easy to teach, by the way, too, especially to non-crypto traditional finance, folks. That's what it's built around. So that will be more public as time goes on, I promise. Where are you, Gavin? How come you don't hop on here with me? I'm kidding. I'm messing with you. I want that other link. Yeah, there's another link. There's another link. All right. I am going to see if we can do something for you guys. All right. Let's see. All right. Hang on a second. I'm going to tag a member of the team and tell him to do something for us. When he does it, I'll let you know. That's my tease. All right, let's go back to the questions. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. I know it's coming up on 8 o'clock Eastern time. So, I don't know if I'm worthy of being on here late at night and you're not spending time with your family, but if that's the case, I greatly appreciate it. Apparently, there's somebody in our Discord who's a big fan of my voice. I'm not sure why. And I apparently look like Matt Murdock from Daredevil. I don't know where that came from. I'm kidding. All right. So, L. Fredericks, how are you doing? I hope you're doing well. You were on our last stream. I don't think you're on this one, but I hope you're doing well. I'm going to read your question. He's heavily invested in HFT. He mentioned his cash manager is Fidelity. He can create an HFT. So I think what he's asking here is what part can he play in the IPO? I'm really going to ask that you kind of just wait and let that process kind of play out a little bit, because there's such stringent requirements around securities of what you can and can't say that I just don't want to say anything that will jeopardize anything. So what I would say is wait until the next weeks and months play out, and then you'll know more about your question, which is what part can you play? How can you play private equity, no private equity, IPO? Just better that we just, not answer that and allow that process to play out. You guys will know more, I promise. If there's something that there's the potential for you to get involved with, you'll know about it. All right, let's just let me go on here. Zeta merch. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you, Marcus. The goal was to have the knowledge base out first before I did the merchandise store. I wanted to focus and get this done. By the way, all the mods, I'm going to miss some. I know we have so many, right? Cat with Hands, DeFi Harvester, and Node Catcher, Darastrict, and who am I missing? I'm missing somebody. Greg Savage. Sorry, Greg Savage. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Greg Savage and JT as well, all helped with writing the knowledge base. So big props to them. They helped go through and correct things, and we worked really together as a team on this. So big props to them. It took a lot of time. And I promise, as soon as this was done, something was added or improved on. We're like, okay, there's like a number of things we got to go check, like the whole USD coin thing. Everything was mentioning USD coin. You saw one that we, missed. So I had to all go be changed to USDT. So might just try to reword that to say stablecoin in the future and make it more generic. So now that this is out, I'll announce it. Merchandise store will be coming next, I promise. Jason's a funny guy. All right. Any chance we can claim more than the number of zones we have? No, that's a built-in mechanism. We came out shortly after launching, and that's going to likely stay as it is. I think we actually already got to a lot of these questions. I thought we had more than this. I believe we actually answered. Let me just scroll down, see what we got. The treasury doesn't show. Yeah, I'll tell you why, Engent. That's because that's looking for USD coin, not USDT. So it's just a display issue. The display issue is looking for USD coin. So until we make that change, it will just show 0. But you can actually check the wallet. By the way, if you go to Dune Analytics, big shout out to Ray. I'll show you this. At the very, very top, right here are all the wallets. So if you want to go check out what's in the wallet manually, right here, they should open right up to Snowtrace and show you that number. Hope that helps. Yeah, Crypto Mama, hope you're doing well. Love your presence in the Discord. I think the knowledge, we have to stop being so siloed on Discord. I know that's kind of how we are right now, and we're working more towards being like, you can get to the website, you can ask questions, you go open tickets, you do all that. You don't need to be in the Discord, especially if you did something to get removed from the Discord, then you really can't open a ticket. So it really becomes a kind of a problem, doesn't it? Any other questions, guys? Fingerless Zeta driving gloves. I'm going to have a whole bunch of stuff in the merchandise store. Don't worry about that. Let's see. Tyson's asking, he says his dad would never use Discord. My dad would never use Discord either. Matter of fact, I manage everything for my dad for crypto, so he really wouldn't know how to use it. I know there's a lot of updates and things that happen throughout each week. Will the team ever consider doing mail weekly? We actually have signed up for a newsletter, believe it or not. I need our CMO to tell me where it is. I don't know where it is. If he's watching, please let me know where that newsletter sign up is. I know it's somewhere. We have people sign up for a newsletter. Anyway, the idea is to have a newsletter. That's, let's get through a couple of things first, and then we'll definitely start introducing that as well. But yeah, we try to, so obviously Discord is always going to be your most immediate source for information. It's just the way it's going to work. You're going to see announcements in there first. Later on, it'll trickle out into Twitter. Sometimes a day later, it'll trickle out into Twitter. And if it's big enough, I'll make a video on it. And obviously a blog post will be on the website as well. A lot of people don't know about the blog post. I want to point you to that real quick. So go to, let me go back to zetacapital.com, the front facing homepage, hit resources, and then hit news. Okay, we have a whole blog area in there that, anytime that something big is happening, that's where we post it. So click news, and then that will open up a blog, and I write in there, JT writes in there. If it's big enough, we'll write in there. And that's another kind of way, hey, I'm not on social media. I don't use Discord, obviously. How do I get information? There's no newsletter. That would be the next place. Go to the website, hit the blog, and also on medium.com, we have a Medium link as well. And on the Discord, I know this kind of undoes it, but official links right here. This would be something you want to direct your friends and family to. Medium, we don't really use Reddit, but a whole bunch of stuff in here. I would recommend you check that out. We have any of the new people in the house, any of the Bapes or anybody who's wondering, what is this project? How does this work? There's no such thing as a bad question. They say the bad question is when you don't ask. So if you have a question that may seem very rookie-ish, it's not. I'll answer it. So let me know. Okay, guys, we have something fun for you. You want something fun? So we opened up let's see what the pool is doing. By the way, I'm happy to see people fill into 20% now. Okay, we opened up a 25% pool. You remember when I'm going to find my meme that I posted. Remember when we look at these funny memes in here? I'm gonna have to. Let me scroll up. Remember this one where I said pools or $67 lake rollover? There's a lake open right now. It's not a $67 rollover, but there's a lake open right now. So go check it out. Now it's like, what do I do? So now you have a pool and you have a lake. So we'll see if the OTC stays that way. I don't know. It might just get emptied. Oh, there's some funny. Look at that's funny. Look at that. Crypto Hulk. You should just scroll through the memes. Oh my gosh. Look at these. These are awesome. The Trump one. I don't know if there's sound, so I don't want to play anything that'll get the get the stream in trouble. These are awesome. Look at this. Look at that guy's face. Oh, who am I supposed to be here? I'm a woman? I'm a angel woman. Okay. Am I supposed to be a compliment or an insult? I'm kidding. Thank you, Brett. It's very kind of you. Congratulating me on getting to 10. Me know you guys are very creative with these. Well done. Well done. Well done. Very funny. Are things calming down for me? That's quite a loaded question, Joel. The baby was going through sleep regression. He's getting a little better, but I'm on. I think this question was directed towards Brent. So I'm answering the question for Brent. But anyway, I'm just answering it anyway. Are things calming down for me? Kind of. Sometimes it kind of depends. Baby, throw the whole monkey wrench into that. I was just answering the question he had for somebody else. That's so funny. Or Jean, well done. Well done. How do I get access to the Zeta Discord? Okay. Come to zetacapital.com. Scroll all the way down. We'll put this at the top of the website at some point. You see where it says follow us on right here. There is a button on the left. And there's a button on the right. The one on the right is Twitter. The one on the left is Discord. So click that and it will direct you to the server. If you don't have a Discord account, it will ask you to make one when you enter. Then there'll be like a verification process just to make sure you're not a bot or anything like that. If you have any issues, let me know, please, and I will help you out. Another lake. Another lake. What are you writing me, Gavin? We currently have, by the way, thank you for reminding me, Gavin. That's where all these memes are coming from. Let me scroll up. Look at all these. Oh my gosh. All right. Thank you, JT, for posting this. Zeta meme contest. I know everybody loves memes. Create a meme with a unique Zeta theme. That rhymes. Hey, good job. Share it in this channel and then post it on Twitter. And when you post on Twitter, tag Zeta Capital and use the hashtag Zeta in your Twitter post. Entries must be submitted before basically midnight, April 30th. The team will judge entries based on creativity, humor, and relevancy. There is no limit to how many entries you can put in. So let's see his announcement. I want to see if he mentioned. Yep. So number 1, 3 zones. Number 2, 2 zones. Number 3, 1 zone. So to answer your post, Gavin, there you go. So we're giving away some zones for our memes. Memes for zones. Only at Zeta Capital. There you go. There you go. So let's see. Go back to, sorry, can't find my channel here. Yes, and Jen, you must have literally been reading my mind. I was just about to say that. So I have the financial reports should be for the next, I apologize, it will be for the next live stream. We have the HFT audit as well. And will the updates be coming back to Dune? They're not on there currently? I thought they were. Yeah, I think they're right here. No? Is this something else that you're looking for? Maybe I don't. Oh, they haven't. Yeah, they haven't updated. That's right here. I'll tell you the reason for that. So, okay. So the reason for the lack of updates in Dune is because we had a link. Some people had this, some people didn't. That was like an API fetch, where if you went to this link, it would show you every day the updates. And that's what Ray was pulling from. However, even though Brad made that out of convenience, it ended up being a little less than that, because what ended up happening was, and this is not, not an insult, but people were misreading it. So, for example, they would see, oh, it was like, 4% today, but they didn't get anything, or they got 1%. They're trying to understand why, because they didn't understand that they were inside of a certain cap. They might have been at 10% and they only had 1% left in that 28-day period, but yet there was like 3% in a day, but they only got like 1%. And they're trying to figure out what's going on. So they're opening up all these tech support tickets. So it was creating too much repetitive restatements about, hey, you're in a tier. This is how the tiers work. And anyway, so it was the link was removed for now. I don't know that there's any way to put it back on here, only because this is a public SQL query that Ray runs. So there's really no way to make a public link but not have certain people see it. And it's not to hide anything. It's just, it was creating too many support tickets. So that was the main reason behind that. We'll see if we can do that though. Did I miss anything important, Carrie? Well, let me refresh my page before I say anything. We have a pool open for 75 plus zones. We still have, by the way, a 20% and a 10% pool open. And we have a lake. And we have a new knowledge base, kb.zetacapital.com. And we have a merchandise store coming soon. And I got financial reports. And I got other stuff. So hope that answers your question. We're going to probably close this pretty soon. So if you have any questions, let me know. It says no text channels, Polygon. No text channels. I don't know what that means. Can you do this for me? Can you write a tweet? Are you on Twitter? Please write a tweet and just tag me, and then I'll DM you. I'll post my handle at Showtime2KX. Please tag me in a tweet, because I think I have my DMs turned off, but tag me and I'll DM you and we'll figure out why you can't get in. Orca, yes. Orca, you have a lake. Hop in there, buddy. Yeah, my Twitter is right there on the screen. Go ahead and please tag me in a tweet and I'll help you out. Is anybody putting their Zeta wall into a trust? I actually had this, so I can't give advice. It's not legal financial advice. I had this recently come up with a personal matter that I'm dealing with. And I would say to talk to an attorney on that. Crypto has some regulations and things behind it. Lack of regulation, I should say, more specifically. So I would say to talk to an attorney on that. Let's see, guys. All right, we'll go just a couple more minutes. And if you have any questions, this is your time. This is your time to shine. What's on your heart? What's burning on your mind? Do we have any new people who are wondering what this project is? There's no bad question. It could just be a simple question that maybe you just don't know, and I'll be happy to answer it. We're going to do another live stream, probably. It's looking probably like Friday at this point, maybe Thursday. We'll just see. Most likely Friday, I'm thinking, though. Let's see. Okay, so it's a good question. I just joined this project yesterday and never heard of high-frequency trading before. Why is it not available for everyone? Well, can you help me be more specific? What do you mean not available to everyone? Just want to make sure I understand, because anybody can go buy zones and go into the pool. So maybe I don't understand your question. I think maybe you're asking, why can't you just go right into it? Well, that's what Zeta Black is for. And you guys will know about Zeta Black hopefully very soon. Some of you are already in Zeta Black. Some people just straight up asked me about it, and I told him about it privately. And then the Prime, of course, knows about it. Those of Prime are the early pre-sellers. It's a couple hundred people in the Discord. If you did not participate in the pre-sale, you're not in that channel. So please don't go looking for that. Matter of fact, there's a question in the knowledge base for that. Go into the knowledge base, come down to Discord. Can I access Prime? I'm sorry, you can't. Here's why. So the people in Prime know about Zeta Black, and hopefully we will get that very soon. There's a reason. There's always a method to madness. So appreciate your patience on that. I'm just going to go ahead and stay on the knowledge base page. If you guys have any questions, please post them in the Discord. We're going to cut this short in maybe 2-3 minutes. Just looking here. I just read your post in Prime, Gavin. Yeah, someone made a meme with me being a woman. What's up with that? I thought I was Daredevil. I'll take that over being a woman. Sean, so let me ask you this question, Sean. How could we IPO if that's the case? Legitimate question, not being snarky. And maybe like you could be more specific. What's everything else? Because I don't know really what you're talking about. If you want to be a little more specific, I can answer it. Let's see. All right. Just scrolling through. Thank you, Gavin. Gavin's always the clarifier of the group. Any thoughts on having a lending platform? It's been discussed. It's been discussed. When you're lending, you got to be really, 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 really careful with stuff. So especially if you're going to IPO, and it's a whole other ball game. So yeah, we'll talk about it. I mean, we've already discussed it, but I wouldn't say anytime soon. Thank you, Joel. Much love and appreciate you being a part of the community. A lot of the team does a lot of the looking out, by the way. I promise. We'll have to get you on the next live stream, Gavin. Appreciate it, guys. This is your first DeFi project. Wow, are you, you're the guy or gal, I don't know. I keep saying guy, it could be gal. You're a person, I'll say, who literally just ran through 2 gangs shooting at each other and didn't even get a scratch. You ran through bullets and didn't get hit at all. That's a very loaded question, Valentine. It's I want to think about how to answer it in a way that doesn't have a bent towards it. Why do investment companies which offer HFT only offer it to people who are able to invest millions? Well, for one thing, as the fund grows, you can't just toss $5 in there. That's one of the main things. But I will be honest, I think there's a little bit of a bent towards the wealthy, if I'm being just completely honest. We have no, that's the reason why literally from a decentralization standpoint, anybody right now can go and build zones. As of right now, speaking at this exact moment, I'm going to refresh my page again, just to make sure I'm not speaking out of turn. There is a pool open for those that have 75 plus zones, those that have 50 to 74 zones, and those who have 10 to 24 zones. They're capped at different levels. Well, that's available as of right now as I'm speaking. And there's a lake, which is a little bit of a different mechanism, but they all have high frequency trading behind it. So we have no such barriers or limitations of who can participate. Whether your gender, race, religion is something that people don't like, that doesn't stop you from participating, right? I would say in the traditional world, it might to a degree, okay? I would also say sometimes it comes down to who you know. And a lot of times these institutions are making so much money, they will give you, I can't even get my finger small enough so you can see it on camera, a sliver, a tiny sliver of what they're actually making. Do you think, for example, that when you're getting 1% a year, that they're making 2% a year? No, they're making probably about 1,000 times that, if not more, per year, and many times per month. Okay, they give you that because that's what they keep. It's a fractional reserve system. It's a whole conversation. But point being is that it's a game for the rich. The rich get richer, as you've heard that saying many times. And I believe there's an aspect to the traditional finance utilities that exist that should be brought on chain, with cryptocurrency being an on and off ramp mechanism to access those tools and utilities, which would generally not be available for people like you and I. That's what XETA Capital does. You're funny, Gavin. Downrange, Cat with Hand said there's an update in your ticket. Just saw it in case you didn't see that. I would let you know. Appreciate you being here. How are we feeling about the progress so far? So I'm a perfectionist, right? I am, I'll put it this way. You know how in the last live stream I was talking about you want to prepare the fund for when 9 digits arrive, and how you can kind of take that mentality to your relationships, your health, your faith, your finances, your business, to be prepared before something comes in a positive way. A lot of people are prepared for things before they come in a bad way. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. And, you know, I got to find that image as we're talking here. I don't know if I'll find it, but I used to show an image of what the road to success looks like. I'm trying to do, I got to do a Google search for this because it's so relevant. What success looks like. If you guys were following me for any period of time, you remember I used to show this on my channel right here, this one. Let me see if I can open this in a new tab. Okay, so a little blurry, but you know, it's kind of off the cuff. So when people get into something, whether it's business, a new business, a new investment, really anything, could be your health, could be your faith, could be your relationships, could be anything. People envision the left. They look at this and they say, well, this is exactly how it's going to work. It's going to be a straight line up. I think my mouse is going crazy on your screen. I don't know why. You know, I'm not sure. At least my preview is showing that. So if it is, I apologize. So people envision what it's going to look like here on the left. They say it's going to be a straight line up. It's going to be nothing but success. They picture the best possible scenario in their mind. This is actually what success looks like on the right. You go up, you go down, you go sideways, you go up again, you go down, you go side. But guess what? They both end up in exactly the same point, don't they? So this is real life on the right. This is a little bit more of a fantasy on the left. Now, I don't get upset when the graph goes down and goes to the side. I just accept it as part of reality. I'm very pragmatic. I understand that there's going to be bumps in the road. So I look at this and I say, okay, I'll just prepare for it, but I don't think and I don't dwell on negative things. So I look at it from the perspective of you always want to be prepared and be ready for when the positive comes, right? Obviously, no, the negative will come, right? I think is Newton's law of every reaction is a equal reaction. So you have to understand that the good comes with the bad sometimes not. So how are we feeling? I'm always kind of like, okay, push and push more. But also understand that there's a human element to it. There's the element of doing it right. You don't want to just do it. You want to do it right. But ultimately, business looks like this on the right. And I would say your finances, your health, your relationships, your faith, everything looks like this on the right. It's sort of like envision the left, visualization, all that, expectations, but understand and expect the right. And you don't get upset when it happens. That's a long answer to your very short question. Thanks, Crypto Cowboy. I'll do that next time. Yeah, so this question's been asked, is there a dollar amount for the fund that would make the system inefficient? No, I mean, there's modifications that need to be done. So I like the question, by the way, because it goes on what I just said, which is expecting too much, right? Which is good. Instead of projects that don't make any money, that have no utility, that have no ability to provide anything for their community, it can't deliver that. So I like the way you look at it. There is a point where you have to modify the strategy. So you really don't get into that until you're in like the low to mid 9 figures, because you become a market maker in the mid 9 figures. But there's things you can do. So you can diversify the accounts, you can diversify the strategies, and you can also utilize different liquidity providers as well as potentially brokerages if necessary to kind of keep the gains. But you got to understand that, and this goes into another question which people ask, is why isn't everybody a trillionaire if they have this? Because the risk becomes greater every time you have a gain, right? If you get 100% gain on 10 grand, it's now a greater risk at 20 grand than it was at 10. You can lose more at 20 now because you have more to lose, obviously. So the more you grow, it becomes more about risk management. You don't want to lose. At 1% gain of 100 million is a lot bigger than a 1% or a loss, excuse me, a 1% loss of 100 million is a lot greater of a loss than a 1% loss at 10 million, just as an example. So it's still 1%, but it's a greater loss. You want to be really focused on risk management. That's the name of the game as you really get up there. And a lot of those strategies are really just trying to mitigate your risk as much as possible. So I hope that helps. I keep saying a couple of minutes we're going to end, but it's fun to hang out with you guys. Okay, Ben, I'm trying to understand your question. What the requirements of capital that are mentioned in regard to what is needed? I'm not sure I'm following the question. I apologize. Could you clarify for me? Yeah, okay. So that I kind of just answered the question, which is, you got to remember, somebody that's got $20 million is not going to dump it into one thing. That just doesn't happen. Okay. If you're a Mark Cuban, you got $3 billion, you'll probably toss 20, 30 million into something like this. You probably would. But are you going to keep it in there? Absolutely not. Because if you watch Shark Tank, if you're in the United States, it's Dragon's Den in the UK. If you watch Shark Tank in the United States, you notice how seriously those guys even take 50 or 100 grand. I mean, they're negotiating people down from $200,000-$300,000, and these guys have billions of dollars, right? Of course, they don't have it liquid; they keep it in investments and whatnot. But the fact of reality is, these guys don't want to lose money. And if you're tossing $20 million into something, that is, first of all, significant risk on their end, and as it grows, it becomes an even greater risk. So they're pulling out constantly, most likely. And with a lot of those mechanisms, you're just not going to let that sit there and ride and become a multi-trillionaire. First of all, at some point, the market would kind of force you to pull it out to start with. But second of all, the risk becomes too great, even for guys and gals with that much money. You're just not going to leave it in there. It's just not how it works. And I will say this, if kind of picture in your mind, let's just say, this is just an example, you put $100,000 in, and let's say in 2 years it's worth 12 million. Are you going to let that sit in there for 2 years? Probably not. It will never become 12 million in 2 years. It'd probably become 2-3 million in 2 years, because you're going to be pulling out as you see that number going really, really, really high. There's the psychological element to it. There's the emotional element to it, but there's an element that you just don't want to lose that much money if you have a loss, and nothing's guaranteed, except for death. Not even taxes, because people get out of taxes all the time. Claudio Cortez Magan, I'm probably saying that wrong. What is XETA? XETA is taking what is a traditional finance instrument called high-frequency trading. High-frequency trading is typically done on the Forex markets. That's the foreign exchange currency pairs, and it trades differences between currency pairs to make a profit at super high speeds with super fast networks. Typically, the kind of technology that costs several million to get right is typically only available to super high net worth people. We take that and apply a cryptocurrency blockchain layer on top of it, where you can enter in through a thing called zones. You have enough zones, you can use your XETA tokens to go right into the high frequency trading without having to be worth $20 million and get into the traditional finance markets. Yes, the new lake closes at the end of April. Correct. Correct. If somebody went to a hedge fund, whether it's GAFS or somebody else directly, yeah, you need a super high net worth to get into something like that. And they're not going to, even they would not toss all of your funds into the high frequency trade, and they would diversify you. Remember when we had blue chip? If you guys have been here long enough, we had blue chip. It just wasn't as sexy, right? and we took it away because the participation wasn't there. You're looking at maybe 15 to 20% a year return. I think it was like 20 to 25 actually. And when you're getting that in a month with the high frequency trade, you're just like, you don't go into it, right? That's crypto. But I will tell you, and I don't mean this as an insult, sophisticated investors with ultra high net worth individuals will diversify blue chip bonds, high frequency trading, equities, metals, crypto, real estate, you name it, right? They're not going to toss everything into one thing. That's just not how more sophisticated investors work. I'm just saying. No, you don't need to learn HFT. If you have a zone inside of our ecosystem, so if you come to xetacapital.com, let me go all the way to the top here, you can purchase Zeta tokens. Zeta tokens can build you zones. You have enough zones, you get access to what are called pools. What is a pool? A pool is a pool, like a crowdfunding mechanism, where you can deposit your Zeta token. You see these little blocks? Each one of these blocks represents $1,000 worth of Zeta tokens that we buy back with our profits. This then, when this pool closes, goes into the high frequency trading. And every week, at the end of Friday, you get to see what the return looks like. These are different caps. So this one, if you have 75 plus zones, you're capped at 25% per month. That's the max you can go to. Some of these 50 to 74 zones right here, you're capped at a maximum of 20% per month. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see this a little better. You can see there's some pools that have already sold out. So users who have zones that bought blocks in this are seeing what their return looks like, and they can withdraw after a period of time in a stable coin. So you go in with Zeta, you come out with a stable coin. Hope that helps. I'm going to be making a new video, by the way, if you're really, really interested, like an in-depth how this works. On our YouTube channel, you see right here where it says Zeta entry, what is Zeta Capital? This is outdated. I'm going to not get rid of it, but it'll just be off of the main page. I'll make a new one because we've evolved so much since this video that there's just things that we don't have, like blue chip, for example. I'm going to record a new one tomorrow morning. That's my goal, is to get it tomorrow morning and hopefully have it by the end of tomorrow. I have some meetings, so I'll hopefully get that out. And then when that's on there, that might give you a much more in-depth. I gave you an elevator pitch, but this would be like a 20-minute in-depth how does work kind of thing. So that might really help. MECP, that's going to be a moving target. Will we require people to withdraw? I don't think we'll require people to withdraw, but there might be some changes in there. As the fund grows, remember, we want to prepare the fund to be a 9-digit fund and beyond. So I want to make those, and the team would like to make those improvements before we get there. So it's just a seamless transition as the fund really takes off. You're welcome. You're welcome. Sorry, Gavin, I can't help you with that. Gets pad and pencil out. Funny. You're funny, guys. Okay. I think that's going to do it. Let's just see. Where's the pool at the moment? This was fun to hang out, guys. I really enjoyed this. This is an hour and 20 minutes. The pool's still open. There's 43 blocks available. That's $43,000, $1,000 per block. There's still 57 blocks available in the 20% pool. Don't underestimate this 20% pool, guys. I shrunk it in size from 50K to 25K so that it will fill faster. 20%, I mean, come on. Tell me who else is offering 20% a month for anything. 10% pool is still open. 85 blocks available. Some people asked, you said something about a special pool. Wait until the next live stream. I promise. I keep saying that, but what I will say is you might consider having some stable coin on the sidelines, but that's up to you. You'll wait and see. So after this is over, I will post the knowledge base. I will post that a lake is open, and I will post that the pool is open. And we'll do our next live stream again, probably Thursday or Friday, give or take, something like that. I'll announce it probably tomorrow, or if I announce it on Thursday, then you know it's Friday for sure. And submit your questions. Thank you, DeFi Harvester. I appreciate you, man. Everything you do is very, very helpful. Please go into AMA questions inside of the Discord. Again, we'll over time see if we can maybe find some way to submit questions outside of Discord, since we'll kind of want to not move things away from Discord, but move things in addition to Discord, right? Like the knowledge base, like the tickets and things like that. But for now, this is the only place to really submit questions aside from tuning in live and submitting them in the live chat. So please submit those for the next AMA live stream, whatever you want to call it. I'll be sharing some more fun stuff, and we'll do some fun pools and things like that as well. Let's see. Is there anything else? Any final questions? I wanted to show this. There we go. Any final questions we have? I just want to make sure I am not missing anything. Thank you, Carrie. Appreciate you. As Zeta matures, the training wheels will come off. We're all learning. Absolutely. You got it. I'll have to get you on here next time, Gavin. People love hearing from you. Love hearing from Gavin. All right, guys. Well, that's going to do it. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go and enjoy those lakes and pools. And until next time, God bless. Take care. We'll see you in the next live stream. Thanks a lot.